Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Tall Guy Talks Travel with Rick Doherty. Of course, I am your host, Rick Doherty, flying solo on the show today, where I'll be taking a step back from going really in-depth on certain topics. Today, we're going to do an overview of a lot of things coming to Disneyland, Walt Disney World, and Universal Orlando Resort over the next few months, and actually few years in some cases, trying to get you hyped up for some of the things that you will be able to experience sometime in the near future. Later on the show, I'm going to be doing a dining review of Confisco at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Of course, I want everybody right now at this very moment to take a second and subscribe if you are listening to this on YouTube. Also like, throw down a comment, share the episode with your friends. All of these things really do help, and I would really appreciate if you would just take this moment right now to do those things and help out the show. Of course, I am also an authorized Disney travel planner who can plan your vacation not only to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, but also Universal Orlando Resort or anywhere in the known world. I don't think I can do North Korea or anything like that, but almost everywhere in the known world, I can help you plan your next vacation. My services are always 100% free to you. Shoot me an email, rick@eartotheretravel.com, rick@eartotheretravel.com. Give me a phone call, 727-507-3123, 727-507-3123, and get a free, no obligation quote. I am going to say a lot of these things I'm going to be mentioning are at Walt Disney World, and you can book a Walt Disney World vacation. Get it locked in at your price with just a $200 deposit if you give me a call. Here's the best thing about that scenario. You lock in that price on your vacation as your maximum price. Because if there happens to be a deal that comes out later and I can apply it to your trip will end up being cheaper. I will make sure to go in, make the changes, and save you money. And in these days of park reservations and dining reservations in limited capacity restaurants, it is always good to have somebody else on your side to try to help you get all of this stuff organized. rick@eartotheretravel.com, rick@eartotheretravel.com. So let's get started because there's a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon at these theme parks. Disneyland just reopened very recently. That's already exciting, getting to see people in Walt's original park. I know we heard about all the people tearing up, and that led to a whole bunch of interesting conversations on the internet, but it has been emotional. Something that hardly ever closes, being closed for well over a year, and then finally opening up to people who really care about it. It was incredibly emotional. I teared up just watching people go to Disneyland for the first time in a long time. It is right now only open for California residents. At the moment, they are the only ones able to go into Disneyland Park or Disney's California Adventure. And we are going to turn our focus right now to Disney's California Adventure, where on June 4th, Avengers Campus will officially be opening to the public. And this is really exciting. Because of the deal that Universal has with Marvel, a lot of these characters aren't able to be in Walt Disney World, but they can be in Disneyland at Disney's California Adventure. That's why we're getting Avengers Campus there, including the brand new Spider-Man adventure, Web Slingers. And of course, it also includes Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which has been there for a few years now. It replaced the old Tower of Terror. There are also going to be, as the official Disneyland website describes them, heroic encounters at Avengers headquarters and the Ancient Sanctum. This is going to be a next level type of land. I'm sure a lot of you have seen video on the internet of the animatronic Spider-Man that actually flies through the air and swings through the air. Imagineering stepped up their game. This is going to be really, really great. I know we're going to get a lot more details as people start actually experiencing these attractions, start walking through this land. We are going to get a lot more information, and I'm really, really excited about it. Avengers Campus is going to give yet another reason to spend an entire day at Disney's California Adventure, and I think that's important because now with Avengers Campus combined with Cars Land and some of the other attractions that you can find throughout the park, it is definitely turning into a full-day park, which will help make Disneyland even more of a vacation destination and not just a place that caters mostly to locals. Disney wants you spending an entire week at Disneyland like people do at Walt Disney World, and I think we're starting to get there now, especially with Avengers Campus. While we're not going to spend a lot of time in this podcast discussing it, there's also the Disneyland Forward project, which is speculating that there might be expansions to both Disneyland Park and Disney's California Adventure. If this ends up happening, I definitely see Disneyland turning into a full week experience. I am super excited to see how that one turns out over the next few years. So Avengers Campus at Disney's California Adventure will officially open to the public on June 4th. Less than a week later, over at Universal's Islands of Adventure at Universal Orlando Resort, it will be the official opening of VelociCoaster on June the 10th. Now, this is a little bit of a silly statement to make that VelociCoaster is not opening until June 10th because recently we had annual pass holder previews. I got to take part in one of those. You can check on the YouTube channel for Tall Guy Talks Travel, and I'll post some video from that experience. If you listen to last week's episode of the show, I talk with my good friend from Diz Twitter, Christina, who just stepped off her annual pass holder preview for VelociCoaster. And then what ended up happening is they just started opening it up almost daily and letting people ride VelociCoaster. So it almost feels like it is officially open already, but it's not going to be officially official until June the 10th. So here's the deal about VelociCoaster. It is the brand new ride in the Jurassic Park section of Universal's Islands of Adventure. This is a great, great roller coaster. People are saying it is the best roller coaster in all of the Orlando theme parks. It's thrilling. People aren't too scared, so it has that combination of thrilling without being scary, so it is more accessible to more people. When you think about Islands of Adventure now, having Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, VelociCoaster, and the Incredible Hulk roller coaster, this is just a great park for roller coaster enthusiasts. I think if you love roller coasters, love thrill rides, you have to make sure to get some time at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Universal really stepped up their game with this one. Everything from the queue, which is incredibly immersive, it prepares you for those long, long waits that we all know are inevitable when VelociCoaster officially opens to the public. I've even seen people go so far as to say Islands of Adventure is now their favorite theme park in all of the Orlando area because of adding VelociCoaster. And if you think about it, the 3 Harry Potter rides, all of the Marvel rides, including that great Spider-Man attraction at Islands of Adventure, Kong Skull Island, the other Jurassic Park rides, and even the Cat in the Hat area. If you are bringing a kid, I can't express how important it is to have that Dr. Seuss landing area that does give children a chance to experience some attractions, to have a little bit of fun. And there are a lot of rides, a lot of attractions in that land to help distract a kid while the grown-ups go and ride roller coasters. Of course, later in this episode, I'm going to be doing a dining review for Confisco at Islands of Adventure, which is a restaurant I think a lot of people sleep on when they're on vacation. Next up, as we continue to move through the calendar, we're going to get into July because right now at Epcot, they are doing a taste of Epcot's International Flower and Garden Festival. I have 2 separate podcasts discussing some of the options available at this festival, so please go back and listen to those. That festival lasts until July 5th, but there will not be much of a gap for so-called Diet Epcot without any festivals, because starting on July 15th, a Taste of Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. I know this is a lot of people's favorite Epcot festival. With everything going on last year in 2020 with the pandemic and the closure and even all of the construction happening at Epcot, Walt Disney World decided to start Food and Wine with the reopening of the parks to give people more of an incentive to go to Epcot, to use the park reservation for Epcot. It is a great festival, a ton of fantastic food. You're going to want this experience lasting almost half the year, honestly, is how long this lasts. But that's great for annual pass holders like myself because we get to go back and try different things over and over again. But it's also great for those of you who are on a vacation and you want to go to Epcot, just snack around World Showcase. Maybe your Epcot day, you don't make a dining reservation. Maybe you just enjoy these food booths and try food from all around the world. I definitely recommend that as a way to do Epcot on a vacation day. Disney did just extend some of their deals further. They had a lot of deals going to July 5th, which is also the same day a Taste of Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival ended. But now there are some deals moving into July and August. If you want more details on those, you know the email address, rick@eartotheretravel.com, rick@eartotheretravel.com. I definitely recommend checking out the Food and Wine Festival. It is one of my favorites. Now on to August, because Walt Disney World is never shy about getting the Halloween season started. They will get it started almost in the middle of summer, and this year is no different. August the 10th. That is when Magic Kingdom will be playing host to the first Boo Bash. With all of the safety guidelines that are still in place, that will most likely still be in place come August, September, and October, I don't think Walt Disney World wanted to call this event Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party because they didn't want to set up the expectations that you were going to get all of the same features. However, it is a great sign of things moving forward in the future that Walt Disney World did feel comfortable enough to have some sort of Halloween event taking place. This is a little bit of one of those signs of normalcy returning, but also I know a lot of my listeners, a lot of you love Halloween-themed everything. So maybe it's not going to be quite as exciting as Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, but remember, we didn't think the parks were going to be as exciting when they reopened without fireworks, without shows, without meet and greets. And then Disney found a way to bring in new things that really added an extra layer of immersion, an extra layer of fun that we didn't even anticipate. Things like character cavalcades, socially distant meet and greets. We don't know everything that's going to go on with the Boo Bash in 2021, but I guarantee it's going to be something that everybody's going to want to experience. It might be the only year we have a Boo Bash. The good Lord willing, things are safer in 2022, and we're able to have things like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and other similar events. So the Boo Bash might be something special for this particular year. Not to be outdone, a little further east on I-4, Universal Orlando Resort is bringing back Halloween Horror Nights. This will officially be the 30th Halloween Horror Nights starting September 3rd and lasting through Halloween on October 31st. I know how much you all love Halloween Horror Nights, and it is so exciting to have it back for the 30th anniversary. It was canceled last year. It did not happen in 2020, but I love what Universal did. There were 2 haunted houses that were available all throughout the day at Universal Studios Florida during the Halloween season last year. There was a Halloween tribute store as well that you could visit at Universal Studios Florida. And then just a few days before Halloween, they also opened that Beetlejuice haunted house as well. I had the chance to experience the haunted houses last year. I got to go through the tribute store, do a lot of the different Halloween offerings. And I'm going to say, if you consider how well they handled those haunted houses back in 2020, with everything looking the way it looked back then, I am 100% confident Universal is going to do a very, very good job with Halloween Horror Nights in 2021. And yes, just a reminder, I can book your Universal Orlando resort vacations as well. Rick at eartotheretravel.com. Now moving on to the biggest events coming in 2021, at least the biggest events where we have dates. October 1st at Walt Disney World. 2 big things are happening. That date, October 1st, will be the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, so a lot of people want to be at Magic Kingdom, the park that officially opened to the public for the first time on October 1st, 1971. Everybody is really, really excited about Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, but in an effort to try to control crowds at Magic Kingdom, Disney also announced that October 1st will be the opening of Remi's Ratatouille Adventure, the new ride at the France Pavilion in World Showcase at Epcot. The construction for this ride has been going on for quite some time. I know a lot of it was stalled because of the park closures, but now we're finally going to be getting this ride October 1st in Epcot. On this podcast, I try to do my best to avoid spoilers, so I definitely don't want to spoil the ride for you if you don't want it spoiled. But if you're looking for examples of Remi's Ratatouille Adventure, it already exists over at Disney Studios in Disneyland Paris. You can definitely search on YouTube and find some video of that ride. It's going to be really fun. It's a trackless ride system. You're getting shrunk down to the size of a rat. This is an example of what Disney does best. This is a ride for absolutely everyone in your travel party. It's not a thrill ride with drops, but it's going to be exciting enough to keep everybody's attention. It's technologically advanced, so people will be impressed with it, from adults to little kids. It is also going to continue to make World Showcase in Epcot something for the entire family. I know there's a little bit of a rift in the Disney community about bringing a lot of intellectual property into Epcot, especially Epcot's World Showcase, the Frozen ride in Norway, and now this Remi Ratatouille Adventure coming to the France Pavilion. But yes, adults love to try the food in World Showcase. There are some who like to drink around the world. I 100% believe every couple of pavilions, it would be nice if there would be a ride that the kids can ride, get to experience something while the adults are trying different foods, maybe getting an alcoholic beverage. It would be nice to take a break, let the kids ride a fun ride about a movie that they all love. I have absolutely no problem with this, and I think it's going to continue to bring younger people into Epcot and make it a full park for the entire family. And speaking of new things coming to Epcot, there are some more. Harmonious, which is going to be the new nighttime spectacular. The barges are already out in Epcot's World Showcase that are going to be a part of this projection, fireworks, water display show that is going to focus on Disney music, focus on Disney characters around the world. I know a lot of people really loved Illuminations at Epcot. They're really sad that it's gone. They really wish they could enjoy it. It was a big part of their family vacations. However, not everybody experiences Walt Disney World the way a lot of the regulars experience it. We connect with some of those things like Illuminations. We would be happy to go back each and every year and see the same things over and over again because they connect to that nostalgia. But a family who's never been to Epcot before might not have any nostalgia for Illuminations. As a matter of fact, they definitely wouldn't have any nostalgia for Illuminations. I think this is the type of nighttime spectacular that's going to create more interest in Epcot, bring more families to Epcot, and I think all of us who love the traditions, who would be perfectly happy seeing the same thing over and over and over again, I really do think we're going to end up loving this. So please, everyone, give it a chance. I think this is going to be a great addition to Epcot. Of course, Epcot is also going to be getting its first real roller coaster with Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. We still don't have a date on when that is going to be opening. I think we're leaning towards 2022 when it's going to be open to the public. This is an indoor roller coaster. From everything that I've seen, it's going to be another one of those Disney coasters that will be intense, that will definitely bring the thrills, but won't be too intense so that it can reach a wider audience of Disney fans. This is taking over the old Universe of Energy Pavilion, and while it is, yes, another intellectual property that is being put into Epcot, it is supposed to be paying tribute to that original feeling of Epcot. It will focus somehow on energy because it is replacing the Universe of Energy. I think the casual Disney fan, the person who only goes every few years or maybe once or twice in a lifetime, I don't think they're going to have any problem with this ride. I think it's going to be some of the purists who might have to be convinced, but I just ask that everybody give it a chance because I am super excited for this. Epcot needs a thrill ride that is a little more thrilling than just Test Track. This will certainly balance out the Epcot crowds a little more. It will give another e-ticket attraction, another major attraction. So now you're going to have Soarin', Frozen Ever After, Test Track, and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. 4 really big e-ticket attractions, not to mention Remi's Ratatouille Adventure, which will be really, really popular, especially in the first few years. Also in Epcot, right next to Mission Space, is going to be the new restaurant Space 220. This was actually supposed to open up just a little bit before the pandemic hit. This is going to be a signature dining experience. It's going to feel like you have gone into space to eat at a restaurant. In my humble opinion, I have this on no particular authority. I just think they didn't want to open this when the parks reopened because it is a signature dining experience. It's going to be really, really exciting when it does finally open for everybody. And they want the standard operating procedures to be as close to normal as humanly possible. They want to be at a higher capacity. They want to make this restaurant work as a signature dining location. You can already see the future entrance to the restaurant right there next to Mission Space. It's really exciting as we see this come to fruition. And I know a lot of people can't wait to eat there. A lot of us really love the theming of space exploration. This feels like that old Epcot edutainment thing. Just really, really excited about that one. Then heading over to Magic Kingdom again at Walt Disney World. Sometime in 2022, we are expecting the new Tron Lightcycle roller coaster, which is going to be right next to Space Mountain in Tomorrowland. They've been building this one for quite some time as well. Of all the new rides coming to Walt Disney World, this one is definitely at the top of my list to experience. It is, for all intents and purposes, a carbon copy of the version at Shanghai Disneyland. I know you can see some versions of that on YouTube. You can go search it now if you want a spoiler. Not only is this going to be a thrilling e-ticket roller coaster in Tomorrowland, a land that desperately needs more attractions, it also will completely change the look of Tomorrowland, give it a real futuristic appearance. I am super stoked for Tron Lightcycle Coaster. Not to mention, the construction for the Tron Lightcycle Coaster has shut down the Walt Disney World Railroad because it's taking up some of that space. Eventually, the railroad will actually go underneath the Tron building. So an added bonus is once we get closer to Tron opening, we will also get the reopening of the Walt Disney World Railroad, and I know a lot of us are missing that one. I just want to close out by saying this one is a few years into the future, and we have an entire podcast where I talk with Marissa about our expectations, but Universal Orlando Resort is moving ahead with plans on Universal's Epic Universe. Go back, listen to my podcast with Marissa, where we discuss this entirely new theme park to be a part of Universal Orlando Resort. Super exciting, Super Nintendo Land, How to Train Your Dragon, Fantastic Beasts, a classic Universal Monsters Land. It is going to be a great theme park coming in the next few years. So excited that Universal Orlando Resort has gotten back on track with the plans to open this new theme park. So that was just a quick look at some of the new things coming over the next few weeks, months, and even years at Disneyland, Walt Disney World, and Universal Orlando Resort. Very quickly, I'm going to move on to a dining review from Universal's Islands of Adventure. Just last week, when I was at my VelociCoaster annual pass holder preview, I decided to go to the annual pass holder lounge at Confisco in Islands of Adventure. Now, even if you are not an annual pass holder and you can't get up to the exclusive annual pass holder lounge, I still suggest trying out this restaurant. It is one of my favorites on property and actually one of my favorite theme park restaurants in the Orlando area. As many of you know, I'm a vegetarian, so that definitely plays a big part in what I'm able to pick in these restaurants. My wife has gone with me to Confisco in the past, and she has gotten some very, very good dishes that do contain meat. But this time I was dining solo, and I got the beetroot hummus, which is roasted beetroot hummus with roasted candy cane beets, black and white sesame seeds, micro Asian herbs, grilled pita, and lavoche, I guess. Just a stab in the dark. I was not 100% looking forward to this. I didn't know how much I would like a roasted beetroot hummus. But I give these things a try because I want to do reviews. I want to try new things. I want to share my experiences with you. And it was really, really good. The pita was fantastic. The hummus itself was very, very flavorful. The herbs were mixed in really well. The sesame seeds were great. I would definitely recommend this. It's $9. It was a very filling appetizer. Honestly, had I known how filling it was going to be, I probably wouldn't have gotten a second appetizer. This is the perfect type of dish for a theme park day, especially a hot theme park day in the summer in Universal. Maybe you just waited in line for Hagrid's and then waited in line for VelociCoaster. Beetroot hummus is a great opportunity to sit in the air conditioning, eat something light but filling, and not have that big lump in your gut that you get sometimes when you eat too much at a theme park restaurant. I also ordered the loaded nachos. Now, normally this is crisp tortillas with beef and bean chili, cheddar jack cheese, tomato red onion salsa, shaved jalapeno, cilantro lime crema, and house-made guacamole. Now, obviously, I wasn't able to do the beef and bean chili, and if you are a vegetarian and you just want the beans and you don't want the beef, unfortunately, they can't make it that way because the beef is in with the beans when they cook it. However, you can ask them, since you are not getting the beef and bean chili, which would cost them money, could they put a little more guacamole on the nachos? And they will do that for you. All of the ingredients were super fresh. That is the thing I definitely want to stress the most about this dish. You know you're going to love loaded nachos in a theme park. You're hungry, you get that cheese, you get the salsa. It's going to taste good. But what makes this a next level dish is that all the ingredients were really, really good as well. Universal doesn't have to give you quality ingredients. They can just throw some Velveeta cheese on top of some chips and sell it to you for $10, but they don't do that. Confisco goes to the effort of giving you really, really good ingredients, a really good flavor palette. I definitely recommend Confisco anytime you are at Universal Orlando Resort. And on that note, this has been episode 15 of Tall Guy Talks Travel with Rick Doherty. Just a little house cleaning. Of course, please like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. You don't know how much it means to me. If you just, right now, while you're listening to me talk, if you are listening to this on YouTube, just click the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Yes, I am also a travel agent for Ear to There Travel. I'm an authorized Disney travel planner, as a matter of fact, for a Walt Disney World, Universal Orlando Resort, Disneyland, or any other type of vacation. Please shoot me an email, rick@eartotheretravel.com, rick@eartotheretravel.com. You can give me a call, 727-507-3123, 727-507-3123. My services are always 100% free to you. As you can hear with all this detail, I am in the parks each and every week, keeping an eye out on all the different changes on the ground at the theme parks. rick@eartotheretravel.com. Also, join the conversation on social media. You can find me at facebook.com/eartothererick, facebook.com/eartothererick, twitter.com/rick_ear, also twitter.com/tgttpodcast, and instagram.com/rickear2 and there. I am constantly trying to do Facebook Lives from inside the theme parks, bringing you videos, pictures from the theme parks. I write blogs and dining reviews about theme park food and theme park experiences. It is a great way to stay up to date on the theme parks and join the conversation by finding me on social media. Once again, this has been another episode of Tall Guy Talks Travel with Rick Doherty. Join me next Thursday when I will once again be joined by my good friend Marissa, who will be talking about her first trip back to Walt Disney World since the closure. She's another regular who has finally gotten the first chance to see the castle and experience her favorite theme parks since early in 2020. Check that out next Thursday, and until then, have a great week.